Mr. Mayor, members of council, it's lovely to be here tonight. And I am joined by Melinda Sneed Johnson. We lead the school division together, and with Daryl Gleason, who we know from many phases of his career, but is now with the schools as our communication specialist. So we're real fortunate to have him on our team as well. And we have a couple matters of housekeeping here. One, I think you already psychically knew, Mayor, because we wanted to tell you we love to stay for full meetings. We may not be able to this evening because of a variety of activities. So please don't be alarmed if we leave at different times or something like that occurs. We apologize.
No, fully understand that.
We like to stay and learn and enjoy the whole meeting time, but that may not be able to happen tonight. The other thing is we have a packet for you tonight, and you'll watch me kind of flipping through it as I go through this, because we like to do our presentation a little bit informally. You may want to simply just read through this tonight, because I won't be going through it word for word unless that's something that you all need. So feel free just to listen if you'd like. We are very pleased to be back with you again this year, sharing information about the school division. We've been very excited about what we've been able to accomplish. We're excited by the work of our entire team, and when we say our entire team, we mean the whole community. We mean parents, we mean teachers, we mean all our staff, we mean everybody who's a local leader, everyone who's involved and invested, because it's really making a difference for the kids, and we really appreciate that. And we want to say thank you, because our community supports the school division generously. So we appreciate that for our entire community helping to support our kids. We do this presentation across all 4 governmental bodies in the Alleghany Highlands, so that's also a pleasure for us. While we get to interact with the city and the county a lot, we don't always get the opportunity to be at your meeting or at Clifton Forge's meetings, and so it's really fun when we're able to come and talk to you all. Y'all are probably well aware of this as local leaders, but of course the funding that we've been requesting from the localities is what we call level funding, which means the same as before, right? So just like everything else, the price of education is actually going up, and we want to acknowledge that. But because we've been able to gain some efficiencies in the consolidation, we have downward pressure on those costs, which we're really excited about. We're pleased about that. Because our bottom line is the education of our students, but we are also trying to be wise stewards of the community's money. And so we're really excited about that, and excited about the different forms of support that we receive as school division people. We know some of that is money, it's tax dollars, right? But some of that is cheering for the kids. It's saying hello to one of the teachers and thanking them for doing their job. I mean, it's all those things. It's all those things, and we really appreciate it. So again, I am kind of flipping around here a little bit. Don't feel a lot of pressure to follow along exactly, because I want to make this presentation efficient for you. I know you've got a lot on your agenda. But just a couple of reminders that we've been really excited about. Last year was a really great year for the whole community in terms of some of the recognitions the community was able to achieve. And we just want to highlight those. There are many accomplishments of individual students and teachers, and we're excited about all those. But we want to highlight specifically for you all the fact that the school division and our partner in Covington was recognized by the Virginia Municipal League. And the same is true with the county, with the Virginia Association of Counties. And that is a really neat accomplishment. That's something that we are very, very happy about, because it helps people know where the Alleghany Highlands are, right? It's one of those kind of things. And we just think that's important for the overall success of our kids and our communities and our overall economic development. So those are just kind of some important things to note. And I want to particularly highlight that other awards are in quite a number, and we don't want to leave any of our students or staff out, because they've all done a great job. But it's about this time last year we were notified that Sharon won a U.S. News and World Report award. So it's kind of a neat anniversary of that about right now. So if you know some people associated with Sharon, it's a good time to remind them of that great accomplishment, because that was a really big deal. We've also had Jeter Watson Elementary recognized by the Virginia School Boards Association with what they call Showcases for Success. We've had Work-Based Learning Program, which is a CTE program, recognized by them recently as well, and a School Nutrition Program recognized by the Virginia School Boards Association. So those are all really interesting things, and things we're just so proud of our team for.
No more pizza?
It's good pizza. It's very good pizza. You know, they have done such a nice job trying to help the kids eat some fresh fruits and veggies. And they got a special honor for that. And I'll tell you, even my daughter, who's a little bit of a reluctant fresh fruit and vegetable eater, is doing better with that. So I'm grateful. I'm real grateful. You do have some other, the slide that says additional opportunities and provisions for students, which you don't need to flip through, but this is a slide that may be of particular interest because these are some things we commonly get questions about. So sometimes we get questions about, say, what's new since the consolidation? You know, what are new opportunities that students have? And some of those are highlighted on here. Two of those are career technical education opportunities, so opportunities that help kids basically get ready for jobs, get ready for college, get ready for military enlistment, get ready for whatever they'd like to do. One of those is in a field called building management, which is like light maintenance and custodial work. It's a really useful skill set. And then two of those are unique opportunities to our community. There's something we call the AHA, that stands for Alleghany Highlands Advancement. It's our own creation. We sort of invented this, but we've been really happy with how well it's worked. And that is currently for our kids who are interested in healthcare careers and our kids who are interested in legal and political science careers. So frankly, people who might want to grow up and be council persons or other forms of leaders. So we're excited to have that for our kiddos. You will also find on that slide some things we're commonly asked about in other areas. One are a couple of safety reminders, which obviously there's a ton of conversation going on right now in Virginia around school safety. And a lot of that in all of local divisions seems to be about different rumors and things like that are circulating online, different things that are happening. We were with a colleague earlier this morning who had like 7 different online rumors in a period of 24 hours. So we're really proud that our community hasn't had an experience like that, but it's important for all of us to be vigilant. And so there's some reminders there about some of the things we have for school safety. And one of those things is that Melinda particularly worked very, very hard to help make sure we had panic button technology in our schools, which works through our cell phones, which is a really neat thing we have now that we did not have before. And we also, you can see this elsewhere in your packet, but we have some emergency responder access. And I know some of you are emergency responders, you probably know all about that. But we have some additional emergency responder access provisions on our buildings now that we're really excited about too. All right, there's a lot going on academically also. And 2 of those things are really important for me to highlight for you. One is attendance. We are really trying to get our kiddos and everybody back to where they were before the pandemic in terms of coming to school regularly. And really, really frankly, at the heart of that, that's because we believe that's going to help them be adults. Right? Because you gotta kind of do those adult responsibilities every day, whatever your responsibilities are. So we're really working hard on that. Our team's really working really hard on that. At the elementary level, we have been super proud of our progress, super proud of that progress. And we're actually doing better than some other places that are seeing some spikes again with really young kids in particular kindergartners. So the Alleghany Highlands has focused on that and done really well. It has been more difficult with our middle and high school students. And that may have to do with a lot of factors. That may be their age. That may be how old they were when the pandemic hit. So for reference, a high school freshman now is a 4th grader, okay? So that's a time period where we know kids are laying down their attendance habits, right? When they're like that middle upper elementary school grades. So we're working really hard. We're trying some new strategies for that because we really want to move that needle too. Part of that goes back to what you were mentioning earlier, is how important it is we try our best to get our kids to school, right? And we don't see a lot of absences related specifically to a bus not running or a bus needing to run a few minutes late. That's good, but we also know those kinds of things are disruptive to families, and we're trying to prevent them as much as we can. So rather thrillingly, we're up 3 bus drivers right now. So we're very excited. That is a lot of people's efforts, because we have been talking about that in the news. Daryl has been helping us with that for, goodness, over a year now. And we really appreciate our community stepping up there, because we really need to continue to increase the number of bus drivers we have. And just because we all know that you are local leaders and you know people, It's important, if people are interested in becoming a bus driver, please have them reach out, because there's different ways we can help them through that process. And we also need car drivers and people who ride on buses as bus aides, as paraprofessionals. So that may mean somebody who doesn't want to get a CDL, is not interested in doing that kind of thing. We might still have an opportunity for you. So if you're interested in that, someone who's interested in that, please have them call either our central office or our bus garage. We'll help you ever how we can to see if we've got something that might be of interest to you. The other piece on instruction I really want to emphasize is just how hard our teachers, our students, and our families are working to adapt to a pretty significant amount of change that's occurring in Virginia. There are large changes. I'm going to go so far as to call them sweeping changes that we're seeing in how we measure instruction in Virginia. So that is we often think of that, oh, that's the SOL test, right? But the SOLs themselves, the standards that kids have to learn, are almost completely changing. They're changing in a variety of subject areas at a variety of grade levels. That's a big change for teachers and for students. And the ways that those are tested also are changing. And the way we're evaluated based on those tests is also changing. And we're getting new information about that literally every day. We're expecting some more tomorrow. We had some more on Wednesday. Maybe we didn't get any new information today. But it's really unfolding and evolving. And the goal is really good. The goal is to make sure things are more transparent, that things are fitting to what kids need to learn to have the kind of jobs they might have when they get out of school. That is fantastic. But it is a bit confusing, and it does require the school staff and the kids to work really hard to meet goals. So we want to make sure that people know that when we have an opportunity to share that with them. And if you know a teacher, an aide in one of our schools, a paraprofessional, anybody working with the schools, we really want to encourage you to thank them, because they're working hard on those things that are coming from the state. That is the bulk of our presentation tonight. You will see additional information in this packet for you. It talks about some other milestones that are important to us. We're excited to have the track done at Alleghany High School. Oh my goodness, that project was underway for a while.
Oh, it's done?
It is done. It is done. We are hoping to have a soft opening for it now, but we've taken ownership of it. This time of the year, basically PE classes can use it, right? But it's complete and so much better. Just so much better. We are so grateful. That's very exciting. We have new roofs at the high school and JRTC, which were very, very needed. So I know roofs aren't always the most exciting thing you can do, but they're very necessary, and when the hurricane comes, you're really glad you have them. That's also really exciting. You'll see some staff and student accomplishments also in here, just some individual things, some things about most of the schools, different ways that they've progressed. And we're happy to speak to any additional points. We'd love to remind you, particularly as local leaders, we put out a lot of information because we're just trying to make sure people know things that can encourage our kids. So want to encourage you to follow us on Facebook. You do not have to have a Facebook account to do that, because ours is all set to public. So you can go to our Facebook page and you can see what's going on there. Even if you don't personally want to choose to log into Facebook, we understand that. Daryl keeps that very updated. It updates 2 to 3 times a day during the school week, and there's a lot of fun stuff there. We keep him busy. We keep him busy. Yeah. And it's neat stuff. He does a great job of helping make sure that you see all sorts of different things. If you look on it in the past couple of days, you'll see the middle school students at Career Quest, which was a career event. You'll see some little kids learning about number lines in math class. You'll see all different kinds of things, so it's really fun. We also have real frequent press releases, so you can obviously find those in your local media sources. Most of those post on our website also. So if you just go to our website, there's kind of like on the front page, there's like some scrolling boxes, and you can see whatever is pretty recent for us. Usually the most recent 10 or so are posted there. So thank you again on behalf of all of us for letting us come. And we just really appreciate it, and hope you like your new AHPS keychains.
I do. Great. Thank you. Thank you for coming. You touched on a lot of things here, but one thing that you skimmed over that I think is really impressive within the school system is the side that you didn't really touch, and that is as far as the SOLs for sharing school.
Oh yeah.
With their math, a raw passing rate of 100%.
It's awesome.
And then you've got your AHS and your CES, your English and everything. Everything has seemed to come up to at least 10%.
We're excited about that.
And 10% is a lot in the school.
It is.
I know that. So
thank you.
Congratulations. Continue the hard work. It's showing. The numbers show. So we appreciate you.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you acknowledging all that. And it is really hard work. And it's all changing, right? So we want to encourage people to keep knowing those strengths and keep encouraging those in our kids. Because when you see one of those kids from one of those schools, you got a great reason to tell them good job.
And I really point out Sharon because I've got 3 grandkids now. I just had another one today.
Congratulations.
And they'll be going to Sharon, so yeah. We don't want Sharon going nowhere.
And that award they got from U.S. News and World Report, and you can still look it up, and we mentioned it in your packet, but it is a really impressive ranking. I forget exactly how many elementary schools Virginia has, but I mean it's hundreds. I want to say it's like 900, but I'm not quite sure that that's correct. And their ranking, particularly in math, quite high, and that was last year. So that was actually, their pass rate was a little bit lower last year. So we'll keep our fingers crossed for this year. How those rankings are calculated is a little bit of a black box. We don't have all the answers on how U.S. News and World Reports figure that out. But hopefully we'll get some more good news on sharing here soon.
But it says a lot for not just you guys that are pushing this, but it says a lot for your teachers.
Oh, 100%.
100%. They're on the front lines with our students every day, and we trust them. Most of the time we trust them blindly. We send our kids to school,
yeah, sure.
We don't know.
Sure.
So.
Sure. And we're so blessed in the Highlands to have people who really, really care about our kids in all our schools. And on that point, in case you all are interested, one of the things we've started, I guess we started it in August, is that every school board meeting, we have what we call a spotlight, and we're actually having our teachers and students demonstrate something instructionally, because we can go in the classrooms and see that all the time. But we all know, sometimes, especially when you ask a child what happened at school today, it's a little bit hard to understand exactly what happened at school today, right? So we're trying to show some of those things, and it's sort of a fun portion of our board meeting. It's right at the beginning. So whether you're interested in kind of catching the board meeting recorded somewhere, or you want to come by our board meeting, it's kind of a fun thing to see. Sharon demonstrated vocabulary recently. Jeter Watson demonstrated some math, and next month Mountain View is coming to do some reading. So
nice.
Kind of cool.
What is being built there at the field behind the middle school in Covington?
The city of Covington has done a really nice job working on that building, and they're also working with the Alleghany Foundation on that building. And that is going to be a field house. Basically, the locker room facilities at Casey Field. Casey Field's a great facility, but they needed some upgrades. And so that will provide a really nice home team kind of environment for when the schools use that facility. It'll also allow our guests to have access to some other facilities that we already have. So it's going to be a nice win. I'm not sure the exact expected completion date because I know they've had some modest delays, but last time I saw it, it was coming along really well, and I saw it a couple days ago. More height.
December.
Okay, December? Awesome. Thank you.
And that all kicked off with a couple of private donations too.
Yeah, and
individuals that put it out there because they take interest in the kids and what they do. So. Absolutely.
And your colleagues in the city of Covington have really led the way on that. And the Alleghany Foundation has been very helpful with that, so I'm sure you all know those leaders and people on those boards, and it's been a really nice project to get going.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. Anyone from council have anything else for them? Want to ask more questions?
I would just like to comment that I think that the panic button app, with the environment we have in today's society, unfortunately, I understand that with the latest school shooting,
sure,
they had something very similar to that. And they said when it occurred, it really, really helped in response time. So,
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
It's a real shame that we have to concern ourselves with this type of stuff, but.
You're exactly right, and Melinda's definitely the expert on that. I have a thought, but were you going to say anything else about the panic button technology?
It's just that we have a great relationship with law enforcement, and we have a school security safety team. They meet regularly, and that was a decision that they made jointly that we needed this. And you're right, it's a shame we have to have it in our schools today, but it has been helpful. It can alert a principal to come even if there's something going on in a classroom. I need you in room 202. Maybe it's just, you know, someone's gotten sick. So it can do a lot of things, but really help in an emergency situation. So we're glad we were able to get that for our staff and students' safety.
It's awesome. It's awesome. It can totally, as Melinda was pointing out, it's designed to handle worst case situation emergencies, right? But one of our first and best uses of it so far was actually a visitor to our school who just simply had a medical emergency, right? And it allowed our team to immediately help. And we were really excited about that too, because it works for, you know, the more normal things too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What is the cell phone policy at the middle school and high school?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So that's actually obviously under discussion all around the state. I'm sure you know that. The governor released an executive order this summer that provided some more guidance on that, and we're still working through all of that. The current policy, elementary students, just for your background, phones are off and away during the day if a child has a phone at school. And that's all day long, like, right? We do allow those phones to be in a mode that they can come back on and be operational in the event of an emergency of some stripe very, very quickly. So they don't have to like put them somewhere special right now. Okay? At the middle school and the high school, our current practice, we call it bell to bell, but what we're meaning when we say bell to bell is we're meaning during class periods students cannot access their phones. Those students currently have access to their phones during passing times and during lunch. The request from the state is that we consider eliminating passing times and lunch. And there's a lot of different points about that, right? You can obviously see pros and cons to that, right? If you're interested in knowing more about that, actually today on our Facebook page, Daryl posted a link to a video the state just released about some of the reasons for what they're thinking. It's interesting. It's about an hour long. It is the kind of video you could listen to in your headphones, okay? You don't have to be watching it. So if you want to run it like a podcast, it'll give you some background where the state is. And then we'll be looking to our board for some more guidance on that, probably within the next 2 months, certainly. Yeah.
I just feel like that's a lot of the problem here lately, as far as your threats and rumors. And But I didn't know, because my daughter, she's in middle school, but she don't have a phone. I wasn't sure what the policy was.
My daughter is also a middle schooler without a phone, so it's good to know there's several of them, right?
Yeah.
So you know,
get one when she gets a job.
There you go. There you go. They certainly have good uses, but they can also be used poorly and very distracting. So I definitely commend that video to you, because no matter what your personal opinion is on it, or what like different people you talk to have an opinion on it, it's just really good background. Like and they did a nice job presenting it really sensibly and clearly, and good information.
It's on the website, or
it's actually both places. You can go to our website to the news section, and you can find a link on our website. And you can also go to our Facebook, and it was posted today. So it's in one of the Facebook posts from today too. And if you can't find it, just call us. We'll tell you how to get there, or get you the link.
Great.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Thank you. And again, thank you all for your grace, because we're probably going to start shuffling here a little bit, and maybe at slightly different times. So we apologize. All right.
No problem. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.